And she said she don't wanna cheat. You know she a freak. My shit heating up now. Yeah, my shit heating up now, baby. My shit heating up now, baby. Go ahead and get my order operations in line. I said, I'm trying to figure out where you may be going. Yo, 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 yo. Welcome to the stream. Happy New Year's, bro. How are you? It's still snowing like a motherfucker by you, bro? She said she don't wanna. We're gonna talk about this MIT murder, man. I think I talked briefly about it with you before. When I went to the MIT website and showed some of his research, and he had co-authors, the Zhaos from China. Oh, damn rain. Y'all boys went from damn snow to rain. Bro, that shit is weak. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. I know that shit got you tight right now. I'm sorry that weather is sucking by you, bro. It sucks. I noticed your porch is purple, bro. That shit is cool as hell. It's like a lavender purple on your porch. Welcome to the stream. Your front porch is cool as hell, bro. Yes, sir. Let's get into this MIT murder a little bit. I'm gonna go to my boy Stephen Burns, and then I'm gonna counteract a little bit. Welcome to the stream. We're getting ready to talk about this MIT murder a little bit. The homie Stephen Burns did a collab with Dana Kippel, and they released this prior to me releasing it a bit, so I might as well just go live and talk about it a bit. I hope you all are doing well and Happy New Year's. Oh, that's from Halloween. All right, that's tough. Welcome, 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 welcome. You from Iran. How you doing, my friend? All right, let's talk about this MIT murder, man.
By Dana Kippel, who is the author of a new force. You can find her on Instagram at dana.alien. There's her book right there. There she is.
I wish I could split screen this. But I'm going to go to the MIT website that I was on previously, where it stated some of his research, a bunch of his documents. So each document that they printed has like a document ID, and then each author has their own identifier under each author name. So each pen name, and they exclude initials sometimes, they have their own document identifier under it, and the information on it is redacted.
For example, nuclear
slightly.
Fusion. They'll talk about nuclear fusion, but they don't really tell you that.
Oh shit, you can't see nothing.
Creating plasma and condensing it into
there
a
it is.
very
Here
tight spot, such that the hydrogen atoms start to actually ram into each other. So they're working with plasma, with these stellarators and other designs. And then you listen to some of these, for example, recently Ash.
So, in his opinion, it was more so about nuclear fusion. Which, yes, he was a leading nuclear fission researcher, but he also was, from what I grasped at least, he was also researching plasma in its relation to, for one, gravity, Hey, I appreciate them likes, by the way. Thank you. Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. It was, oh, that's the homie from Iran. Happy New Year. But it was in relation to gravity, and I want to say 0 point energy for one. But why I think the Zhaos from China collabed with this researcher is that China's sun project. China had a sun project that kind of got swept under the rug. And then one would add, like, damn, why is China doing a sun project? Like, huh? Why would they need a second sun? So then we coincidentally had 3-Eye Atlas, and before 3-Eye Atlas got here, we had the UK saying they needed to fog the skies, right? Which is odd. But then shortly after, we had radioactive fog all across the world. They had it in Florida, all throughout the the eastern region of the Americas. We had it here over in Georgia. Yeah, bro, everything is weird, bro. So the fog that was in Florida, for example, it had pink particles. People did third-party testing on these particles, and they were small pink particles that caused all sorts of elements to include cancer. This was hidden inside the fog. So then you got that, I want to say it was Idaho, that recently had freaking pink snow. And then you would wonder, like, damn, why is the snow pink? Well, that's supposedly like due to algae. Something to do with algae and the weather causes the snow to turn pink. But copper gets rid of the sky shit. For sure. And I appreciate that, Brody. Thank you. But let's get into Stephen Burns a little bit. So Stephen Burns is one of my he's like one of my preferred references for news and weather. He bases our weather in relation to the plasma and pretty much plasma ejections, right? The plasma ejections, as well as other things on the sun, send waves to the earth, and essentially that's the cause of the earthquakes, and sometimes cause the tectonic plates to shift quicker, etc. But let's get into this.
Dust, but
It's plasma.
plasma, baby. Like, are you gonna say the word? Are you gonna say it?
No. That's what's so weird. It's so suppressed. There's like a natural suppression of plasma for many reasons, which is odd.
Yeah, almost purposely wanting. Well, it's new, so I think there's some just level of inertia of things like this take time to disseminate, but also there's such a rich history to this, probably much more that we don't know, and maybe some people do know, and it's like trying to keep that information suppressed. I don't know. It just sets off my spidey senses.
Yeah, so in chapter 2 of my book, I actually write all
I
about this.
I brought y'all into a blank slate. My fault, y'all.
Hey everyone, geophysicist Vaughn Burns here. Today I have a very interesting conversation lined up for you with Dana Kipple, the author of a book titled A New Force, which is all about plasma, the fourth state of matter, very highly energized matter. Of course, matter makes up the majority of our universe, and we have solids, we have liquids, we have gases, we have plasma. Very little is known about plasma.
The fourth state of matter
has been suppressed. Now, we recorded this podcast on December 12th, and I find it very interesting that on December 15th, we saw that a leading scientist into plasma and nuclear fusion research from MIT was murdered in cold blood in his home at night.
I just want to add that person that shot him also shot other people, and they were coincidentally in the same scientific fields.
In Boston, he was shot 3 times taken to the hospital, died the next morning. And if you read the book A New Science of Heaven by Robert Temple, then you can learn a little bit more about this covert history around plasma and nuclear research that has been
100%. I agree.
Creation of the
we're energy.
Bomb and hydrogen
well,
more. So
how can I explain this?
That's
why we're made of the same things in the universe, essentially.
One of the top leading plasma infusion researchers around the world from MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And this was just a couple weeks ago on December 15th. It adds a whole new dimension to the conversation that I have with...
Hot take, everything's light moving at a different speed.
Dana, so I wanted to mention that at the beginning of this video. Very unfortunate sequence of events for that to occur. This is Nuno Loureiro. He was 47, and he was just recently promoted to be the lead director of plasma and nuclear research at MIT in 2024, and well, didn't last that long. And so keeping all that in mind, now
prior to MIT, he was very prevalent in plasma, and I think I should add that. Oh shit, I'm gonna get in trouble with this one. So Epstein was really studying eugenics, right? Well, he was very prevalent in those circles. He was well known in those circles. Correct, vibrations and light. Yes, sir. Moving at different speeds.
Hello, welcome everyone to the podcast. I'm your host, Stefan Burns, and today I'm joined by Dana Kippel, who is the author of A New Force, and you can find her on Instagram at dana.thealien. There's her book right there. There she is. Hello, welcome.
Hello, thank you for...
We're going to get into this a little
myself, because discovery of it. But in general, it seems that the things that use plasma, like the industries, for example, nuclear fusion. They'll talk about nuclear fusion, but they don't really tell you that what they're doing is they're creating plasma and then condensing it into a very confined, tight spot such that the hydrogen atoms start to actually ram into each other. So they're working with plasma, with these stellarators and other designs. And then you listen to some of these, for example, recently astrophysicists talk about 3I Atlas, and they're talking about
here we
gas
go.
And dust.
3I Atlas. I appreciate them likes, guys.
Plasma, baby. Like, are you gonna say the word? Are you gonna say it?
No. That's what's so weird. It's so suppressed.
It's crazy, bro. It's crazy, y'all. Let me turn on my light a little bit. There we go. You can see me.
Yeah, almost purposely wanting. Well, A, it's new, so I think there's some just level of inertia of things like this take time to disseminate, but also there's such a rich history to this, probably much more that we don't know, and maybe some people do know, and it's like trying to keep that information suppressed. I don't know, just sets off my spidey senses.
Yeah, so in chapter 2 of my book, I actually write all about this. I write about the secret history from ether to plasma. And basically, when they first discovered plasma, Sir William Crookes named it radiant matter. He actually addressed the British Royal Society in the 1800s, talking about how it had paranormal properties that made him feel like almost like he was in other worlds. And he was telling the scientists, like, I know you're scared of this, but like we can't be scared of this. Like something new is coming. It has mystical properties, and you know, you guys need to get your heads out of your asses, basically. And then all of a sudden, they switched it from radiant matter and then had this theory of luminiferous ether. But then Michelson Morley test disproved the luminiferous ether, but they didn't even test for it correctly. They tested for a stationary ether.
Which everything is always in motion. No such thing as stationary.
Multidimensional plasma or ether is always in flux. It's not stationary. And then,
just as I said,
they created the FBI in 1908, and then in 1928, they all of a sudden were like, oh, plasma we discovered. We're calling it the fourth state of matter. And then no one correlated that Nikola Tesla literally worked with plasma. So there's all these little, and all of a sudden when they called it plasma, like, there's no more paranormal properties, no more mystical talk. It was just all like cut and dry, you know, used for national security, used for fission and fusion. It's just been a very strange history plasma has had, and there's been definite either natural suppression because of national security, but I think also a little bit
national
of like
security bullshit. So I gotta pause real quick.
Talk, so they swept it under the rug, and they're like, oh,
I call cap on the national security, being that everybody's working together worldwide. For example, Alaska. It's not just America with bases in Alaska, and they definitely work together. They definitely work together. All right? It's the reason why the scientists, for example, from China, set up base right to a military installation in North Carolina. I'm just saying. Let me continue.
Let's just make machines out of plasma for national security and like try to friggin' blow the world up.
Yeah, that's another thing with nuclear fission, like a hydrogen bomb. You have that initial fission of the atom, splitting the atom, and then the next thing that is produced is basically a bunch of plasma. Because what plasma is, for anyone that's watching, if you're unaware,
That's so you can see it.
basically charged matter. So you have a molecule or an element that will split apart such that the electron will separate from the nucleus, either one or many, and that makes these ions, which have charge to them. So now they are much more so under the control of the electromagnetic force rather than the gravitational force. And the electromagnetic force is way stronger, like unbelievably stronger than the gravitational force. Both are important, but once you're in the realm of electromagnetism, everything changes.
Yes, yeah, it's an ionized gas, and the most interesting thing I find is that the biggest electromagnetic field that humans have is their heart. So I really
and we all have a field around of us too. The Merkaba
is heart centered. We can manipulate this plasma, which in turn, because I think it makes up the fabric of reality, a finer plasma than the fourth state of matter. I basically posit there is a multidimensional living ether plasma that we cannot test yet. It is not made of particles, and it makes up the fabric of our reality. So I say that we can kind of...
I'm assuming that's the God particle she's talking about.
To use our consciousness in certain ways. Yeah.
Yeah, and the hard aspect...
That's allegedly what Project Bluebeam was in search for, was that God particle. I think she was mentioning.
The brain waves that we generate are about 1 picotesla in strength. There's also electric field components to this.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, there's definitely something where you're in a room where you walk by someone and you're like, I don't know, that person just feels off. Or the opposite, like, this person's awesome. I don't know why I like them. And it's, some component of that, if not by majority, is that there's like a resonance in the frequency or a disresonance in the frequencies. It's either coherent, non-coherent, maybe a chaotic field, you can't really read them, or it's like super coherent with yours. And yeah, because of that, we have this biofield, the bioplasma of our body, and then that also extends out to space, and there's information attached to energy always.
Hence how, like, the sun's rays give us information. Excuse me.
No, it makes perfect. I mean, the light carries the information. When plasma changes energy states, there is fluorescence, which literally lets light or photons
what you say, Brody?
So there's always an information exchange.
Yesterday morning when you woke up, you lit 2
candles. We're all just we're fish floating in a sea of plasma, and none of us really realize it. And the reason that there is telepathy and the reason you can feel people's energy
what the hell?
is because we're all in that ocean of
That's
plasma.
crazy, bro.
It really makes perfect sense. So I don't know. It's weird.
That's wild, bro.
It feels so esoteric because it's not. Like, this should be like the basis.
By the way, man, we still sober over here, man. I told you, 30 days, bro. At the very least. I'm going to do a piss test at the end of the month. But we still sober over here, baby.
It's like it should all start with plasma. It shouldn't be like the least known subject. That's just crazy.
Yeah. There's some act of suppression and ignorance combined to this, but it seems to really be catching on, and the consciousness.
Yeah, I know it's gonna take some time to clear the system.
Catching on more and more, just because once you learn about it, I mean, there's a certain level of like you need to research into this and like, oh, okay, now I know this, and it clicks. And no one's born just knowing everything. But it doesn't take that much research. I mean, the whole hope of this podcast is to kind of be that first step for a lot of people. But the consciousness connection is really important it seems to be increasingly coming to the public awareness and zeitgeist. Can you speak to that? Like, how is consciousness? What is consciousness? Plasma? Like, what do we know? How do they overlap? What are some little clues that we have?
Sure. So the way I view consciousness might be different than some people, and like really, what is consciousness? So I view consciousness as kind of a system and a system of perspectives. So in our three-dimensional reality, we have a three-dimensional consciousness system, which is simply our higher awareness feedbacking with plasma.
There's 15 dimensions, by the way. If you want to add on to that, we have 15 dimensions.
System. And then there's what I call fourth dimensional consciousness, which is feedbacking with plasma as well as the fabric of our reality, or what I would call a fourth dimensional plasma. This is the field people call the collective unconscious, or the Akashic realm. It's our thoughts, emotions, our dreams, and that is a different consciousness system perspective. And then there's fifth dimensional consciousness, which is also awareness, which is totally different than like survival consciousness, which most of us are.
Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. You said you got your own dimension.
And that is basically just saying like our higher self is operating in us right now. And that feeds back with an even finer plasma that influences reality more.
I need this dimension to pass me some loot, bro.
Consciousness as a system, I think, is different than our actual awareness. And we can either be just within that
620, same here.
Consciousness system, or we can learn to be multidimensional humans with multidimensional consciousness. And, we can be in 3D, 4D, 5D at any time. And it seems complex, but it's actually not. It's extremely simple.
Time's been flying, bro.
3 levels are reflected like everywhere in every mythology ever.
They did speed up time intentionally.
So yeah,
welcome to the stream.
This is a feedback system that almost like if you picture our torus, our biofield, that's just feedbacking with plasma. That's all it is. And then plasma, I would call the expanded definition of plasma, no longer an ionized gas, which is just one facet of plasma with a lens of science, but this multidimensional expanded version of plasma is a multidimensional living sentient field / substance. I would even call it more of a living
grab my little
being
light real quick, y'all.
That is the vehicle for consciousness, information, and intelligence. So it's not conscious itself. It's more has imprints of consciousness. Like it has its own memory, but it's not, I wouldn't call it self-aware, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like a amalgamation of everything else around it. And
yes. It's like the clay.
Yeah, I was just going to say the soil from which a plant will grow. I mean, the soil is also alive with bacteria and everything, but there is some base stratum to it that is lower in frequency and in conscious awareness. I mean, Itzhak Bentov has this consciousness system, and the mineral consciousness is the lowest. And it doesn't mean there's not consciousness there, but it's low, but it can also build up over eons and eons, whereas, for a human, typical life is like 80 years. So there's different aspects and levels and realities to it.
Yeah, I would say that, like, I always tell people, because they're like, how do I know if I'm connecting with plasma or if I'm connecting with, like, another being of consciousness? And I always tell them, plasma, at least to me, feels more like a dog, a dog or an animal. It's like loving and feeling. And
I believe she's talking about
and like a hug, and it's supportive.
Like tarot reading,
but
and shit.
It doesn't really like.
As far as connections.
It's just like a supportive feeling, and then another being of consciousness, which actually is coming through plasma. So it's so cloaked in plasma, which reflects your subconscious, which is a whole other thing.
You burning one?
Feel free will. And there's just a difference in nuance and feeling, which once you kind of get to know this world, you just know.
There we go.
So what
got my light right now.
Right before we started, you were saying that.
Yeah, buddy.
You were saying the plasma around the age of 30.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I think in general people have heard about plasma. There may be some little science program or something, but they haven't learned too much about it or really gone deep into it.
Welcome to the stream.
In general, as we were both talking about again earlier, like this is still probably early.
Yeah, bro. I haven't smoked. I used to smoke cigarettes. I haven't smoked a cigarette probably since 2018.
Across the globe over the next few years and decades.
2018-ish.
Like why did you get into this early? Like, what was spirit poking you to do that? Why? Why are you interested in this? What's your mission around plasma?
Yeah.
That shirt is lit. Explore the cosmos within.
Like, I'm sure I chose this before I came here. Like,
I appreciate them likes. Thank you for your
Set up,
support, guys.
I had a propensity for math and science as a kid. I didn't really have many friends. I was very strange. I also was into paranormal stuff. And then I developed drug and alcohol addiction from age like 14 to 21. I had a lot of trauma as a kid. And then because of that, I got into mental health. So then we take the math and science, we take the, just having empathy because I've lived a hard life. And then we take the mental health aspect. So I learned a lot about psychology, Carl Jung and integration and embodiment versus like spiritual bypassing. And then I got into acting and
I just wanted to add real quick, since you said spiritual bypassing. So, I'll say it like this. The government always had the ability to place certain things on you. One of the methods was like via like an actual material, right? Let's just say it was gray, for example. And it would assist with putting this thing on you. But to touch what she's about to say, I believe, let's add this to 5G, right? And some of its technologies. As it relates to this, you essentially could get your spirit swapped. That's the best way I could put that. They spirit swap you, bro. They have the ability to spirit swap you. And then you take certain perimeters to fill and be able to do so. But now they have the ability to spirit swap you remotely. And that's all I say about that.
I started meditating when I was like 30, 31, and all of a sudden, it's like I knew this stuff all at once. It was like a big thought block entered my mind. And it was like my higher self, or my future self, it's like, you're going to write a book called A New Force. It's going to be about plasma. That's the vehicle for consciousness. And like all of a sudden I just knew all these things about plasma. And I never studied plasma, never even heard of plasma in my life. Like, that's why it's so weird that I still can't explain it. It feels very strange to me. I didn't go seeking for this. All I had was the intention to, when I started meditating, I was in so much pain. I was like, I want to know more about who I am and connect with myself, because I always felt this like weird disconnection with my own body and myself. And then this came to me. And through plasma, I kind of reconnected back with like myself and spirituality. And I would call it more metaphysics, like a mix of science and spirituality. But yeah, it was like my life was the perfect storm to do like exactly this. And I didn't want to do it first. I was like, no one's going to think I'm like cool and awesome doing this stupid plasma stuff. Like I want to be like a famous actress.
Welcome to the stream.
I didn't want to do it for a long time.
Hey, my birthday was pretty lit. I mean, I ain't go nowhere. I chilled in the crib, rode around the city a tad bit. I went live, as a matter of fact, for a bit of time. I want to say on TikTok. But blessed, man. I'm blessed to be alive. I appreciate you asking me. Thank you, man.
Like, I meant to do this and I love it, and I don't even care what people think anymore. So anyway, that's kind of how it was a very strange thing that it just came through to me after meditation, and then I just never looked back. And I just, everything I knew I had to translate into like human words, which I'm still working on really well. So
skip on through that a
energy
little
in these
bit.
new kind of virtual particle mistake they're all making is they're not bringing up,
there we go,
interacting with our reality from other dimensions. I think that this is just like what I call this four-dimensional plasma field, or this collective unconscious. The mistake they're all making is they're not bringing emotion and thought and dreams into it. So I'm kind of synergizing like science, spirituality, and psychology or mental health. And I'm trying to create like a new paradigm of like, we can actually put this all together. It doesn't just have to be science. And I'm at the very
science and religion, essentially. Nothing new under the sun, y'all.
Kind of realizing that the system that we're in.
Golden Dome over the church.
And like, wait, I'm working a
100,
job,
bro. For sure,
to then have to struggle to find
I got you. I remember you said your birthday is on May 18th, if I'm not mistaken. I got you, Brody.
Any less. Meanwhile, they're inflating our currency away. And I mean, for example, I've gone to the grocery store. I've done a few trips this year. each about like a month long. And every time I've gone back to my normal grocery store, the price of beef has gone up by $3, like in a month. Like just this past, and maybe it's just the store, whatever. Like just this past 6 months though, as we film this in December 2025, the inflation of certain things has been insane. And so it's like, what is the point of doing all this if you're not even enjoying yourself? And if you were to continue doing that acting path, I mean, maybe it would work out, but in general, most people don't succeed there, and you have a fairly large Instagram, so it seems that you're probably actually more popular now doing this plasma stuff than you would being an actress. So it's interesting how that works out, where you listen to that little nudge from universe, higher spirit, whatever, that then leads you on this path, which may not initially like boom, there it is, like
he said 6'9". Yo, I was just watching 6'9" pop some shit on Say Cheese TV. Yo, 6'9" is fucking hilarious, bro. This dude is a trip. But, you know, what can I say? He's a truth teller. Yo. And I got an Uncle Jeff as well, bro. Except my uncle's birthday is in October. But yeah, I got an Uncle Jeff as well. It's crazy.
Everything at once, because probably not worthy of it yet. But if you stick with it, it does manifest. And it's probably also because we're working to make the plasma around.
Uncle Jeff was one of my main male figures in my life growing up.
That's why it's so cool, because it like mixes number one, plasma directly has to do with like healing trauma, which most people like wouldn't think when they think of like the core state of matter.
Yo, these are the shit.
The more I healed my trauma, my limiting belief system,
the honey wheat joints,
the more I brought things into
they're $1.25 at Dollar Tree.
Financial abundance and other kinds of abundance. Like finances definitely aren't, I would say, what I value, but it does make life easier. And like watching my entire life change from learning these things, I was like, oh my god, like I can embody what I'm teaching because I know it works. And it's just so beautiful that like this thing I discovered also heals people. And by healing ourselves, we're healing this field. This like ancient, I would call divine feminine field that has been suppressed for thousands of years and called a demon or siren or Mary Magdalene symbolizes it, so does Inanna, and all these goddesses that kind of were like put down or called a whore, prostitute, crazy, whatever. It's like, no, like this field holds our magic power.
Before she said that shit, did I not say that she be talking along the lines, and I predicted this shit a little bit, that she be channeling spirits? True. But the testosterone actually benefits women as well. The testosterone that's in their body. Welcome to the stream, y'all. But yeah, yo. She's still a knowledgeable person, though. But I had a feeling that she was going down that line, or she dabbled like with channeling spirits and shit a little bit. At least was knowledgeable about it.
Let's see. We're all scared of our magic power, so it's like shrouded in fear and suppression. And if we realize it held our magic power, we wouldn't need things outside of ourselves, which is bad for consumerism and capitalism. And that is why I think there's a suppression there. But I think that you can't stop it, like Pandora's box is open.
The way to break the system is mass exodus. If you want the tech system to break when it's not advantageous to us average people, you withdraw yourself from it. You want big corporations to crumble, you withdraw yourself from them and stop spending your money with them en masse. You draw your support from them, you take it away from them. You take away that power and you take your sovereignty back en masse.
They kind of view it as like Prometheus.
Hey, they can't arrest us all, right? Until they get their robots out here. They can't arrest us all. For
It's
now.
Fire away. I feel like we're kind of all like that, where it's like we're putting the power back in the human and reflecting people's power to themselves, and there's just like no turning back.
Yeah, it's interesting how you mentioned the consciousness, plasma, and psychology triangle, let's say, and how that's been very transformative and how that could transform the planet. And a lot of people are discussing the like AI, quantum computing.
Okay, what you talking about, Stefan? Let him cook now.
Whatever that means. Triangle and how that's going to transform the planet. And
Sure.
one of them, I look at the quantum AI UAP one, and first off, all this UAP talk is like fear-based. And then,
Now he cooking.
I use artificial intelligence for things like image generation, or Notebook LM helps to like take stuff from research papers, condense it. But it makes a lot of mistakes, and these chatbots, I think, are actually really not good for people. That's my personal opinion.
Because it causes psychosis.
I see how that like works out. I'm like, this is not good.
No.
And then
Correction, it doesn't cause people cause themselves psychosis.
Far off, actually, from what I know.
But AI enables
it.
it.
It's sooner than we think, but
Not AI, chatbots.
But one of them is like going to lead to the robot which knocks on your door asking for the government payment, right? And it has like a built-in like taser gun or something, or laser gun. The other is self-empowerment and the creation of a human society which can still have technology interconnectedness, but also is very much rooted in...
I'm going to pause on that. I got DariusTNetwork.com. That's one of my other websites. It's going to be a community for one, to break away from the system. Secondly, some other things I'm implementing within it. You should be able, especially if you're in America, but I want to do this worldwide, you should be able to get access to earn some money for wages if you need to on my website. Outside of that, this is kind of like on a Terry a bit, but I plan on having internal currency, and it's technically a ministry, so you could dodge taxes. You don't got to pay your taxes unless you use USD. DariusTNetwork.com. It's still live, but I'm going to drop some more on it. Nah, for real, that's part of the plan on it, right? So go to it, DariusTNetwork.com. You'll see one of my things on there is farmers, right? So you're supposed to be able to source food products on there. And it's actually for, one aspect of it is for local farmers, right? But it's also to highlight the human skill set, right? That's what my intent behind this project is to also highlight the human skill set so that the value in our humanity like remains. You know what I'm saying? We have to preserve it at some point in time, right? So in a world where everything's going to be mass produced, it's going to be a luxury, not even just a luxury, but a commodity, I suppose, to have human-made goods. I'm gonna show y'all this shit real quick. Matter of fact, I'll show you my website. I'm gonna show you my website, y'all. I wasn't showing nobody this for real, but here's one of my websites. And if you look right here, reality is kinetic. So I changed the concept of this project a few times. The first rendition of my website was it was combined LLMs. So I had Grok, a couple Google LLMs, a couple open source LLMs, and their APIs combined into one to make my API. So then I switched. It's right here, up top, DariusTNetwork.com. But you'll see you can hire talent here, and I have a sovereign ID set up. that I have everybody on my platform names a steward. You know what I'm saying? They're stewards, hence the 508c church organization, non-taxable. I'm just saying. I'm still making sure I got all those technicalities down just because I don't want to get folks locked up, including myself. But yes. I even have a Julie on my documents page and a couple other things and some other patents that I've been working on. But until I get all my moolah, I have it up here. So it's intellectual property, essentially. That being said, Last One Tech is my other website. If you guys ever need me, my information is available. I'm here.
In the ancient traditions of the magic and the ancient traditions of the past of peace and prosperity and community. Mm-hmm. So, like, guys, which one do we want? Like,
yeah,
I don't want the death robots. So.
Yeah. I'm so glad you just said that because you made an awesome connection that I've been talking about my videos for like 2 years, but I don't think I was able to say it the way you just did. For some reason, you compared it really well. So like, yeah, my book is literally called like Plasma, Consciousness, and a New Human Potential. This is just psychology. It's psychology of the new human, and the new human is a multidimensional human. It is, us learning to work with different perspectives of our consciousness or awareness with plasma and our consciousness system. And like with that, what I've been told from spirit, whatever, plasma is like the unicorn, and she will show herself to those who are pure of heart. It doesn't mean you can't make mistakes. It just means you have good intentions. And I think there's like a new field sprouting up of quintessence rather than quantum physics, which is like this field of experience and emotion and thought and dreams and magic. And I think that this is actually the future. It's more of like a solar punk future of supportive technology, which is still technology, but it almost is like more organic technology, using soft matter, limestone, using things that synergize with the earth and feedback with the earth, and maybe even more like sacred geometry, like technology that's not conscious, but it actually supports our consciousness expanding.
So
and I'm kind of in the beginning.
God is good, baby. What I will say on that, let her get a thought out.
Stages of researching that stuff too. So anyway, there's all these things that can lead to a beautiful, synergistic.
I'm gonna pause on her. So, in my opinion, technology is going, and it's already here. It's going back to a place to where it's one with nature. In my opinion, that's the future of technology in the long end. You could think. Almost like Avatar, the blue people, not the airbender, but like the blue people, right? Where nature is combined with the technology. Things such as organs with computer chips in them, which they already have. So a heart with like a fucking, a mini Raspberry Pi, if you will, / motor inside of it to control that heart, for example. That's already here.
Harmonized future where we're empowered, we have better health,
True.
More connection, more magic, more love. And then there's this shit that's being pushed right now. Quantum computing, how's that going to connect us to ourselves more? It's fucking not. We already have the internet. Like, who the fuck cares? And then AI, okay, great. I just am an overthinker more now, and I still don't feel any more connected, and I feel a little bit more like someone's listening to me, but it's not even a real person. And then we have, the UAPs, which yes are full of fear, and they completely disconnect you.
She's
from
funny as fuck.
Yourself. Like if you don't want to face yourself, go study UAPs. Like, or maybe just work on your own fucking trauma and go to a therapist. Because when I can just tell you right now, when I interface with UAPs, the few I've seen, they're reflecting back my own trauma to me. Same with these ghosts, these demons, these beings I've seen too. Like I'm an experiencer as well. I know a lot of people are, but you can co-create your experience. When you realize that this experience, the power is within you, and all you're experiencing is your own consciousness.
I semi-agree with that. So she pretty much just said you could co-create your own experience in part, and then she prefaced that with that she's also experienced supernatural anomalies in simple terms. And while in part, yes, so in a sense, she's saying like, all right, if you practice religion, you're more likely to experience the supernatural and demons. If you practice Catholicism, you're more likely to experience the need for exorcisms. If you practice Buddhism, you're more likely to experience these needs for certain spiritual cleanses. Essentially, what she's alluding to. I'll see you later, and I appreciate you being here, man. Thank you for your support. But in my opinion, like, we don't have control over a portion of that, man. You can't, just because you stop thinking about something doesn't mean that it's still not affecting you. Essentially is what I'm saying.
There are beings visiting you, but they're neutral. They're not evil. They're actually all here to support us. We're just not seeing them correctly because of our own issues.
Like she just said.
So anyway, it's all a fucking mess. But hopefully people will
She's
wake
mistaken.
up to this.
They're not fucking neutral. The beings are not fucking neutral.
You're always getting information and signals that will lead you to the right path.
And that's where she's mistaken with her. I'm not gonna say mistaken because I could be mistaken. We're not all knowing, but in my opinion, I believe that's where she might be misled a bit as far as spirituality goes a bit. She's seeing demonic forces and she's accounting them to neutrality, when in actuality it's still demonic.
And if you, let's say, delay making the change.
Light bearer, right?
It's being presented. It may be like just
Bearer of light.
Maybe a screaming signal. But the truth is being presented. And if you're like, nah, that's not it, and then you keep doing this thing, then those signals will build and build and build until it becomes undeniable, or maybe even like you die, right? And so if the signal is small and you're really, really aware, then you can make that change. The key, the difficulty there may be that if it was a small signal, you may not have enough evidence to then really cement that into your being and not go back to whatever that thing is. Whereas if you do let the signal build up more and more, then you start to get some undeniable proof that this is the deal. Then hopefully at that point, you make the change. A lot of people don't. They actually live in that new reality where they just don't put two and two together.
True.
And as a result, that's where you really start to get problems building up. And so you can you can course correct and get on the right path with a very tiny signal, but you may not have as much information as you may need to stay on that path. Though that's the thing, if you're really in resonance with yourself, you should have that feeling of, okay, that's true even with a tiny signal. Generally, it takes bigger signals for people, because sometimes it's like they need a tsunami, like a health crisis or something like that for this change to get implemented. And if we're interested in making the world a better place and self-actualizing people, we need to speed that process up.
Okay.
And
chatting good.
not like do it in a fake way, but actually just cultivate greater awareness. It's like getting rid of old programming and doing the whole self-verification process. And
what about the bad actors? There's always going to be bad actors.
Psychology, all those seem to like synergize and create that catalyst of change for people.
Yeah, no, so I think too, why some people seem to have an aversion to me, and not everyone, but I'm just saying I can be polarizing, is the people that are stuck in more of that like quantum physics, AI, UAP triangle, and like, I think it's scary. And Carl Jung even said the scariest thing is for man to face himself, and like, I've always actually struggled even having friendships, because when I like...
I'm going to show y'all what I was talking about. Well, shoot, you might not be able to see this shit. Might not be able to see it, champ. I'm gonna see if I can show you. Tap to airplay. Are we back in business? Hold on, we having technical difficulties right now. We have technical difficulties. Hold on while I fix this crap. Let me do this. Oh, Christ. Okay. And this. Let's do this real quick, y'all. While I fix this shit. Here we go. What's going on? Welcome to the stream. Fixing my my AirPlay real quick. I'm currently at the MIT website to show you some of these documents, but this is the gentleman. Oh shit, you can't see it. One sec. What in the hell? Okay, hold on. What's that no Uzi? Okay, you was cooking that motherfucking fire, huh? You was cooking that motherfucking fire, huh? Welcome back, Brody. I'm trying to show you this fucking MIT website. It says this. Oh, hold the fuck up. Am I bugging? Hold on, did they take away? Okay, it's still up here. I thought they took away oh, his research. I took screenshots though. I took screenshots of like important stuff, but here's a live website. Let me see if I can show you. One of my bros is a scientist at MIT. He went to study there. Well, he's a techno scientist, I'll say. He's a fucking genius. He always been smart. I'm not gonna say his name on here, but that's my brody.
And suddenly, I look like an aristocratic landowner.
What the fuck is going
The best
on?
part is it costs way less than...
All right, close this. You said you added a bunch of different melodies to the beats. I know. I'm trying to tell you, bro. Only reason why I'm not riding right now is because the police been tripping, bro. I'm talking about tripping. So, I've been off of the roads when not necessary. Is my shit finally working, bro? What is going on, bro? What the fuck is going on with my AirPlay, bro? Okay, now I think I got it. Now do I have it? All right. Motherfucker. Ain't this some shit? So it's connected to the... Am I bugging? It's the TV that's doing it. It's the TV. Go ahead and reset that motherfucker. Give me a second while I reset my TV. And that's how you reset your TV manually. It's that new Sosa. When I get that right, bear with me. It's that new shit. The sun is up. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. Sosa ain't talking about much on that track from what I heard, bro. I'm gonna let him finish spitting. What's up? Where's you at? There we go. We back in action, baby. Just a little bit of a device reset real quick is all we needed. I'm sorry, Sosa. I gotta pause you, my brother. I gotta pause you, G. All right, y'all. So back to the website, bro. So this is the Orchid site. And this is where you can find a bunch of scientific documents. And these, oh shit, you can't see it for real. One second. There we go. So right here is where the research IDs were, yo. And then you can see where he was at previously, right? So it's not just MIT. You got Cambridge. Oh, here we go. So Lisboa. Then he was over in London. I'm gonna show you where he collabed with China. He was literally collabing with China as well. I'm trying to remember which one was it on. I want to say it was under that research ID. Got it. All right. So this is Web of Science. 109 total documents. in over 3,700 sites. Yeah, Sosa fell off, bro. Well, I ain't gonna say fell off, but it ain't the same. It ain't the same. He started making music for a little bit too, if I'm not mistaken. I'm curious, what the fuck grants you had, bro? I didn't look at this before. Collaborative research enabling multi-scale studies of magnetic reconnection with interpretable, data-driven models. Interesting. This is back in 2021, bro. He got awarded a grant for the Institute for Plasmas and Nuclear Fusion. Oh shit, the FCT gave you that grant, bro? And the DOE gave the previous grant. And then the third one was for magnetic reconnection and strongly magnetized weakly collisional plasmas, onset turbulence, and energy partition in 3D plasmoid dominated regimes. Interesting. Interesting. Magnetic reconnection and collisionless plasmas. Fuck, this is back in 2012. Another grant from the FCT. And then he was given another grant for quantum algorithms for fusion plasma dynamics in 2019. So this one has 5 associated publications, 8, 10, 17, and 3. I'm curious as to what the associated publications are. Electron-only magnetic reconnection and inverse magnetic energy transfer at Subian scales. Welcome to the stream. Let's see, Manta, a negative triangularity, NASM compliant fusion pilot plant. I'm assuming this has something to do with the Middle East as well, bro. I got a fucking very good fucking feeling that this has something to do with those facilities that we, you know what I'm saying, had to get rid of via bombings and other things. Interesting. Plasma physics and controlled fusion. All right, so quantized tensor networks for solving the Vlasov-Maxwell equations. I saw something on that Vlasov-Maxwell equations. That was pretty dope. Let's see. So this, one of his, I guess, most prevalent grants was given by the FCT in 2015. What was it for? What was cited on this? Experimental study of extended time-scale dynamics of a plasma wake field driven by a self-modulated proton bunch. Self-modulated proton bunch. Interesting. Proton bunch self-modulation in plasma with density gradient. This is in 2020. Castanea sativa shells and fruits. What? Compositional analysis by proton-induced X-ray emissions. That's fucking interesting. Inverse energy transfer and decaying 3-dimensional non-helical magnetic turbulence due to magnetic reconnection. So in 2021, it's something about, give me a second, y'all, and it's magnetic reconnection. Let me see something real quick. Magnetic reconnection. I'll read out the entire definition. So, a fundamental plasma physics process where oppositely directed magnetic fields lines break, rearrange, and reconnect, rapidly converting stored magnetic energy into heat and kinetic energy, accelerating particles and causing explosive events like solar flares, geomagnetic storms, and phenomena near black holes. Kind of sounds like that artificial sun I was mentioning, huh? Let me just see something. Magnetic reconnection. Chinese researchers, primarily from the Chinese Academy of Sciences, CAS, are making significant strides in understanding magnetic reconnection. Using advanced solar telescopes like the New Vacuum Solar Telescope in Yunnan, and collaborations with international teams to observe this key process in the sun, revealing details of filament formation, solar flare triggers, and energy release crucial for space weather. And again, the space weather impacts what happens on the Earth. So they manipulate space. It seems like they're manipulating space weather to manipulate this weather. Their studies often focus on solar events like filament collisions and braided magnetic structures, sunspots, providing direct observational evidence. Providing direct observational evidence and simulations of how magnetic fields break and reform to release vast energy. All right, now let's see this real quick. China Sun Project. Let's look at this real quick. I wonder if these ZOWs that were on his documents had anything to do with this China Sun Project. And then I'm also wondering if these individuals were involved in the science for the UK fog for weather modification. China Sun Project refers to as cutting-edge nuclear fusion research, primarily centered around the experimental advanced superconducting tokamak, nicknamed the artificial sun, which aims to replicate the sun's energy for clean, limitless power by sustaining superheated plasma. Let's see, the project involves advanced experiments setting records for plasma duration over 70 minutes in early 2025. And significant contributions to global efforts like ITER, demonstrating breakthroughs in magnetic confinement fusion. So what the fuck is ITER? What the fuck is ITER? IDER. Who the fuck is this chick? Did I get the shit wrong? IDER? Oh, T. I'm tripping. I'm bugging. ITER. ITER. ITER, the International Nuclear Fusion Research and Engineering Project, designed to demonstrate the feasibility of fusion power. The facilities under the construction near the Coverup Research Center in southern France. Coincidentally, I forget what the fuck it was. It was a remote viewer. Allegedly, who was alleged that he had the gifts to pretty much see an evil presence in certain regions of the globe, not just in the immediate surroundings. And he alleged alleged that when he astral projected and saw the source of these dark energies, it came from France. That's fucking crazy. It has been under construction since 2013, and that professor that got murdered has been researching stuff since 2012 and got prevalent in 2015. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. And welcome to the stream. What the hell is that on? Let's see. I'm curious. What does that mean? Either has several meanings. Mostly prominent is the name of a major international. Okay. The way or path. The way or path. Either means the way or path in Latin. Or Latin, pardon me. Either members. Who are the either members? Who are the either members? Let's see. Either. Reject all cookies. Bro, do you see this fucking facility? Fam, they've been working on this shit since 2012. Do you see this bullshit? It's just like them Somali daycares, bro. It's just like them Somali daycares. Nah, you said Rome never fell? You're right. I don't think so. I think Rome is America. At the same time, I also think America, gotta be careful when I say this, but America is also the Fourth Reich. It's a lot more to that, but yeah, man. Let me see real quick. So members of either are China, the EU, India, Japan, Korea, Russia, and the US. Motherfucker, that's everybody, except Africa. That's Arab. Damn, hold up. That's damn near everybody except Africa. And why? Interesting. Europe paid 45.6%. The remainder was shared equally. So the members contribute very little monetary contribution to the project. Okay, so what do you contribute? Instead, 9/10 of the contributions are delivered to the ITER organization in the form of completed components, systems, or buildings. So we don't want you to track our fucking money because everybody knows if you follow the money, you find the source, right? So instead, we want you to give assets. And then we'll sell that shit later. It's necessary. I don't know, I might be thinking about this the wrong way, but let me see. In this way, the scientific and industrial fabric in each member is prepared for the step after ITER collaboration. Okay, there's a step after. The conception and realization of the type of prototype fusion reactor that will demonstrate industrial scale fusion electricity within this half of the century. They want to introduce industrial scale fusion electricity within this half of the century. Mind you, they've been pretty much like making strides in this since 2012. Interesting. Let's see. For all members, the benefits of participation are significant by contributing a portion of the project's cost. Members benefit from 100% of the scientific results and all generated intellectual property. That's the fucking play. So you give us equipment and all this shit that we need, buildings and all that. In return, you get 100% of these results. Since you gave us the equipment, you might as well get all the money. And by you, I'm talking in third person. They mean we. So it's the same concept as what a lot of organizations do, to include Jews. At my old company, I used to work for a company named Ericsson. And they essentially, they produce the telecom equipment and they install it. They're on both ends. There's supply and there's fucking demand. Just like with the Jews, right? They control the chaos and they pit parties against each other and make it look like it's this person doing this. Really, it's one party doing everything and controlling it. And it just looks like they're at heads when it really is just a collaborative effort, right? Or modern day government, for example. Let's see. Each member has created a domestic agency to fulfill its procurement responsibilities to ITER. So, what the fuck? These agencies employ their own staff, have their own budget, just like I just fucking said. So they look separate and contract directly with the industry. Communication between the ITER organization and domestic agencies is facilitated by state-of-the-art collaborative CAD design tools. Integrated, what the fuck? Hold on, let me rewind that a bit real quick. So communication between the ITER organization and domestic agencies is facilitated by state-of-the-art collaborative CAD design tools, integrated project teams for specific components or projects, and video conferencing. The working language for the project is English. Go figure. Taken together, the ITER members represent 3 continents, approximately 40 languages, half of the world's population, and 73% of global gross domestic product. What the fuck? In the offices of the ITER organization and the domestic agencies and laboratories and in industry, literally thousands of people are working towards the success of ITER. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how I just stumbled upon this ITER shit. I didn't find this when I was doing research last into this, probably a few weeks ago. I first stumbled upon this when the first day he died. Not the ITER, but some of the plasma information and the equations that it solved. So the ITER organization has also concluded non-member technical cooperation agreements. Now it's making fucking sense. Welcome to the stream. Now it's making sense why some people's groups were left unrepresented. Like I was thinking, like, oh shit, Africa's not a part of this? Now it's about to tie together. The ITER organization has also concluded non-member technical cooperation agreements with Australia. What's missing? Africa's still not on it, by the way. Through the Australian Nuclear Science and Technology Organization in 2016. Okay. Kazakhstan and Canada, which fucking US and Canada are pretty much the same, bro. So Africa is still excluded. And coincidentally, we got feet on deck in Africa, and all these things have been happening in Africa to include Africa claiming their own sovereignty, their own projects and resources, and have been trying to launch their own currency without the backing of other nations, essentially kicking Europe and China out of their country because they've been there for a very long time now, pushing out all the locals to the point to where for the locals to survive similar to America, they have to go elsewhere in the world to make a living. They have a saying that, how did that saying go? Africa is the burial ground for Africans, not the birthplace. I want to say that's how the saying goes. Africa is the burial ground for Africans, not the birthplace, which it is birthplace. But what's meant by it is what was aforementioned. Even though it's their country, they have to go outside to survive because it's been taken over by outside parties. All right, that's interesting. Holy shit. Wow. I'm curious. What projects do they have underway? You funny. I only brought up Africa because they're left out of it. I only brought up Africa because they're left out of this IDER organization, and it's odd as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Because trust and believe that, for example, those terrorist organizations, not terrorist organizations, let's just say the Muslims, over there fucking genociding all the Christians and Christian academies since about 20, when I first heard about that shit, 2022-ish? I want to say, since about 2021, 2022 time frame, they've been killing Christians, but they only decided to bring it up now, in 2025. They brought up the alleged North African farmers allegedly being harassed and assaulted by locals. And then Trump brought them all to fucking America. Why? That was more important than all them fucking Christians getting killed in the schools, literally. Women, kids, all that. But then now, fast forward, when it's convenient and all these files dropping and all this bullshit, now they send boots on ground in Africa to stop it. That shit's not coincidental, bro. Like I said, man, they make shit look like this, but it's really moving like this. That's an interesting ass facility. Wow, okay. Outer Assembly Building. The Radio Frequency Heating Building. The Radio Frequency Heating Building. Okay. All right, 100, Brody. You gonna get that green flavor? I made some stew. I'm about to pour me up a bowl. I've been heating that shit up. I made some stew last night. Beef. That's fucking interesting. All right. I'm going to put that in my pocket for later about that IDER project. But I'm just a tad bit more curious. About this sun project. I just want to see, like, let's see, China Sun Project researchers. I doubt this to be real information, but let's see. Let's see. You gonna get that blue Laffy Taffy? All right. Yeah, you gotta keep something with that hand to mouth habit, bro. That way you don't smoke. Okay. Oh shit, you can't see shit, can you? Yeah, you can. China invites global researchers to join next gen fusion. Hold on. Who are the? Are you gonna show the researchers? Look. So that's the facility for the China Sun Project. I don't know if you can see that shit. My fat ass chair in the way. Yeah, Laffy Taffy helps. When I stopped drinking years ago, man, something that surprisingly helped me stop drinking. Well, I don't want cold turkey, but sparkling water. Sparkling water helped me a lot, bro. I don't know if it's that little bite that it has going down, but yeah, man, sparkling water. It gives that same sensation as certain drinks. China today invited international scientists to join a new collaboration program aimed at achieving nuclear fusion. Okay, no shit. Let's see. At the first step, future scientists from more than 10 countries, such as France, the United Kingdom, Germany, signed the Hefei Fusion Declaration today. At Hefei Future Great Science City, where BEST is located. The declaration encourages researchers worldwide to carry out fusion studies in China. Interesting. China has made notable progress in recent years, including the experimental advanced superconducting tokamak, which in January achieved the world's first sustained burning at 100 million degrees Celsius for 1,000 seconds. China's recommendations for the 15th 5-year development plan from 2026 to 2030 released last month, identified future industries for the first time and called for accelerating cutting-edge technologies, including quantum technology, biomanufacturing, and nuclear fusion. BEST, the next generation device following EAST, began construction in 2023 and is expected to be completed by 2027. That shit's probably already done. That shit probably was done in 2024, bro. If not this year or last year, it's 2026 now. The facility will conduct burning plasma experiments. I just saw something about burning plasma. What did I just see about burning plasma? He had research in burning plasma. I'm gonna go back to that. The facility will conduct burning plasma experiments to verify long post steady state operation and aims to produce 20 megawatts to 200 megawatts of fusion power, ensuring that output exceeds energy input and demonstrating the feasibility of fusion-based generation. We're about to enter a new stage of burning plasma. Okay, that was very fucking interesting. All right, so Hefei Fusion Declaration. I gotta see what that's talking about. Hefei Fusion Declaration. The Hefei Fusion Declaration. I might have to go search this shit like via a virtual machine. You know what? Let me turn on a VPN real quick. Maybe I'll get different search results based off a VPN. It was Hefei Fusion Division. Is that what it was? Signed. Well, look at that shit. You gotta prove I'm not a fucking robot, huh? for regular search. You bastard. Chimneys. Just a second, y'all. Got hit by a capture. Motorcycles. Stairs. Y'all some bastards. Crosswalks. That should be it. Crosswalks. That shit did me bogus. Verify. Motorcycles. I mean, if you call that shit a motorcycle. If you call that shit a motorcycle. Fire hydrants. Traffic lights. Fucking bicycle. Oh, fuck it, I'm gonna just get the guy in there. Son of a bitch. Okay, I'm gonna get what I want. I promise I'm gonna get what I want. 1 second, y'all. I apologize. Cafe, Fusion, Declaration. Fucking bitch. Alright, I got you. I got you, G. Archives.org. Hefe, Fusion, Declaration. I wonder if you're on archives. Damn, I ain't find no metadata. It's alright. I thought I would find some metadata on it. Let me see if I can find it via images. China launches international program. Is this the one with the scientist? Is it showing all the scientists? See, what I was originally looking for was a document to show everybody that participated. Let's see. Chinese Academy of Sciences. When was this published? In November of this year. This shit is crazy. Oh, shit! Oh, shit! Hey, yo! Oh, shit! Hey, bro. Zhao Weiwei. I told you it was 2 fucking researchers from China that was a part of this fucking program with the gentleman who was just assassinated. And they were both Zhaos, bro. One of them was Zhao fucking Weiwei, who's a contact for this fucking Hefe program, bro. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, shit. China has launched a new international science program in Hefei aimed at accelerating development of fusion energy. The program, initiated by the Chinese Academy of Sciences, was officially unveiled on November 24th, alongside the burning plasma. Yo, that scientist was killed not too long after that. Literally like 2 weeks, bro. I wonder if Zhao Weiwei was always the... What the fuck do you look like, Zhao Weiwei? What the fuck do you look like? I got a feeling you got really dark eyes. And not just like in a... Like my kind of dark eyes. But like... I fucking knew it. Hold on, that might not be here though. Zhao Weiwei. Scientist. Just to make sure. And I still was fucking right. Zhao Weiwei. Oh, shit! I didn't know Zhao Weiwei had something to do with the new flexible fucking chips. So they had these new chips that are out, and they're literally like not rubber, but like almost like a silicone almost. It's almost like a silicone-like material, bro, and it's a flexible chip. So essentially, you could put a chip in something like this, bro. Oh shit. That's a common ass name though. I'm not gonna hold you. But all right. All right. I low-key want to hit her up. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't know which Zao it is. Let me go back one. Let me go back to, where the fuck did I just put you in that website? Okay, so there's her information. Let me take a quick photo. Welcome to the stream. I'm currently catching the lead, I believe, into this murder. I pray that Zao is not a target. At the same time, I pray she's not a part of the bad actors, which I highly doubt. But I pray she's not a target. I'm just curious. She's more likely to be a spy than a target, to keep it real. I bet. Be safe. Be safe, man. Watch your six. I appreciate you coming through. I'm gonna be here. I should be. 100, Brody. No, I appreciate your support. So let's start from here. So the launch event underscored the importance of global collaboration, culminating in the signing of the Hefe Fusion Declaration by key international partners. Representatives from the IDA organization, which we're speaking about, the European Fusion Energy Community, which we just read that entire IDA website, and this EU Fusion Energy Community is probably one of those domestically formed organizations that receives 100% profit of the payouts from the equipment that they provided, or pardon me, from the research, or the profits from the results of their research. Which, again, they were researching industrial-scaled nuclear fusion. Industrial-scaled nuclear fusion solutions. And they're supposed to get 100%, 100, not even fucking 95, 100% profits. Now, who the fuck gets a deal like that? Who the fuck gets a deal like that if it's not all the same entity? I would give, like, really? Wow. So this shit is making a lot of fucking sense. But there's something else not making sense. Why the fuck would they... I'm trying to just think about, why do we have to pick him off? Why did they murder him? I really feel like it's not all about industrial scale. I just gotta find the paperwork behind it. I got a real gut feeling that this shit is not just all about industrial scale fucking nuclear fusion solutions, right? Granted, a lot of things revolve around fucking money, and people are really greedy, especially super wealthy people. They have to keep their stuff running, right? But I mean super wealthy. I'm not talking like 50 mil. I'm talking like people that you don't see. Interesting. It also acknowledges the substantial engineering and physics challenges remain, requiring the shared wisdom and joint efforts of scientists worldwide. And I just want to point out that it appeared like they were studying language models. So they were messing around with AI and this. AI plus burning nuclear fusion. All right, let me the declaration calls for openness, lies, knowledge sharing, lies, and mutually, this is probably true, and mutually beneficial partnerships, inviting researchers from around the world to join Hefe's efforts in advancing fusion energy and a broader vision of clean energy for humanity. The program led by Institute of Plasma Physics, ASIP, I'm about to look that up, at the Hefe Institutes of Physical Science of CAS, will focus on integrating international resources and attracting top global talent. It will foster collaborative research on cutting-edge topics such as multi-scale turbulence. What the fuck? All right. And alpha particle transport, which are crucial for realizing practical fusion energy. Multi-scale turbulence. I recall seeing something in that scientist that they killed in regards to that. Hold up. This looks like that fucking facility that we just were looking at. Where is it? Where are you? That ITER facility right here. This looks just like that ITER facility right here, bro. If you pay close attention to the Tokamak project right here. So here's the 3Ds for the Tokamak project complex, where they say they're installing equipment. So they're starting at the base level. They said that they're starting at the base level here, and then it's going to progress up. Hold on. Progressing around Tokamak pit, progressing around here, counterclockwise direction. So before moving up. Okay, interesting. And if you look at this, where the fuck was that image just now? Right here. Does this not look fucking similar? Aerial shot captures ongoing construction at the BEST facility. Images by ASIP. Again, let me just make sure I got the right. The Institute of Plasma Physics. ASIP. The American Society of International Pain Physicians. No, motherfucker, that ain't it. Did I spell that shit wrong? ASIP. 2 P's. No, I got that right. ASIP. Just to make sure one more time. All right, I got something for that ass. Watch this. Now we're cooking. Man. Now let's see the top news over at ASIP? I'm curious. What's some of the top news at ASIP? Eurofusion and the Swiss Plasma Research Institute has visited ASIP in September. Oh, that's last year. Illuminating the Path to the Future, International Week of Science and Art. Gyrotron production. Anthony Don awarded China Government Friendship Award for contributions of future. Who the fuck is Anthony Don? Anthony Don. No, not Anthony LaDon. Anthony Don Award. Nah, fusion energy. Just cause. From 2012 onwards, you were the vice chair. Let me just make sure I got the right person. So that was Tony Don, Anthony Don. So he goes by Tony. So Anthony Don, who was awarded, goes by Tony Don. And in 2012, you were the vice chair of the Consultative Committee for Fusion Energy, CCE Tech FU, the highest consultative body to the Euratom. Interesting. Coincidentally, that's around that time that the professor made strides in that same field. But then he became the head. And then Tony Don remained the vice chair of said organization. He received an award for his stride in China in 2024. Okay. Huh. Let's just see something real quick. This is him. You were born in the Netherlands. Oh shit, you're the CEO. What the fuck? Hold on. The challenge is to realize electricity from fusion to large. And we are making continuous progress. The effort is worth it as fusion. So maybe the scientist wanted to let people know that we can achieve free electricity, and they silenced him because he was the mind behind the results, maybe? Interesting. The effort is worth it as fusion energy will be clean and safe, and the fusion fuel will be abundantly available. He studied experimental physics, and they got a PhD in nuclear physics. Then he switched fields and began working in fusion research. Again, he was appointed professor in diagnostics and heating, that main thing of heating of fusion devices. Interesting, okay. In 2010, a substantial part of your career has been devoted to the design and use of plasma diagnostics in a large range of fusion devices. Interesting. Interesting. Just so you see I'm not capping. Where is your stuff, my friend? Nuno, my friend. Nuno, my friend. I got you, Brody. I'm curious. What was it? You got... So, grants. Follow the money. Grants. Follow the money. Grants. So, if I follow the money in grants, around 2000 and... So, hold on. What year was this? Still November. Let me look. What grants were you recently awarded? Because what they threaten scientists first is the pretty much revoking their funding. So they say, oh, we're gonna pull your fucking funding if we don't agree or if you don't do what the hell we tell you. Welcome back, brother. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm looking for that document I was looking for that had both of those researchers' names on it. I got the screenshots on this device that I'm currently using, so I can't really look through it right now, through the photos. So I'm trying to find it dry. Let's see real quick. That's fine. Where did I find that fucking document with them Zals on there? Was it under... Peer review? No. Grants. Okay, no. Go back to documents. Where the fuck? Okay. We're getting close. Right here. Lee Zor and Zoe Mooney were part of these. You get your Laffy Taffy, Brody? Indexed. Hold on. Indexed on December 18th. Indexed on December 18th. Published on December 20th. When did he die? Nuno F. Luero. What day did you die, bro? They said you were found dead. Nuno F. Luero. Y'all doing too much, you bastards. You ain't have to do me like that. Nuno F. Luero, death date. Nuno F. Luero. Oops. Luero. Death. He died on December 16th. You said that shit hard as a rock. Let that bitch sit on the well, you probably sucking on that whole pause. But let that bitch sit on your heater, your space heater. Sit by your space heater, not directly on it. So the plastic don't melt. Soften that hoe up. Wait, hold on. So he died. He died on the 16th. And where'd I put it? 2 days later? Where's that document? Where the fuck did I put that document? Was it on Web of Science? Son of a bitch. I'm sorry, it took me out of the document. But 2 days later, it was indexed and then published 4 days after his death. And that's the second version of it. Or the second issue. MIT Plasma in Cambridge and Dartmouth Department of Physics in Hanover, New Hampshire. Astronomy and see more data fields. Okay. And astrophysics. Okay. Let me go back one. So that was that document. When was this one? December 20th. Let's see in November. Who was a part of your stuff? Simran Chaudhry. Again, remember they said it comprised a international team, which science usually is. Then radioactive cooling. Our results show that cooling accelerates the collapse of the X point along the inflows, but strong cooling can arrest or even reverse the current sheet elongation in the outflow direction. Hence, we detail modification to the radiatively cooled Sweet-Parker model developed by Yusuke and Kenny in 1962 to allow for varying current sheet length. The steady-state solution shows that when radiative cooling dominates compressional heating, the current sheet length is shorter than the system size, with an increased rate connection rate. Okay, with an increased reconnection rate compared with the classical Sweet-Parker rate, the model and subsequent results lay out the groundwork for a more complete theoretical understanding of magnetic reconnection in regimes dominated by optically thin radiative cooling. This is all done at MIT. So the only one that was different, well, I'm not going to say only, the one that was different so far was the most recent one, in which he died 2 days or 4 days prior to the publication of this document. 2 days prior to the publication, they already cooked it up. Wait, bro, this shit is weird. All right, let's see who we got on this one. Louis Silva, Baudry. Let me see real quick. You got one citation. That one that was weird, you had 0 references on. There was 0 references. So 0 references, but multiple citations. Shit, 6 citations, 0 references, 4 citations, 0 references, fucking 23 citations. Okay, so who was a part of this one for 23 citations? That same person, Zoe Mooney. That same person, Stankin Vladimir, Coons Matthew, Loreno, who was murdered. But why the fuck did they murder him? Out of everybody. Well, shit, he was the fucking head, but we report on first principles numerical and theoretical study of plasma dynamo in a fully kinetic framework by applying an external mechanical force to initially unmagnetize plasma. We develop a self-consistent treatment of the generation of seed magnetic fields, the formation of turbulence, and inductive amplification of fields by the fluctuation dynamo. Driven large-scale motions in the unmagnetized, weakly collisional plasma are subject to strong phase mixing, which leads to the development of this thermal pressure anisotropy. I said that shit all fucked up. Anisotropy. There we go. Anisotropy. I said that shit retarded. Pardon me. Anisotropy. This anisotropy triggers the Weibull instability, which produces filamentary seed magnetic fields on plasma kinetic scales. The plasma is thereby magnetized, enabling efficient stretching and folding of fields by plasma motions and development of Larmor scale kinetic instabilities such as fire holes and mirror. Wait. This anisotropy, I'm tripping. Anisotropy. There we go. I'm sorry. This anisotropy, it's a fucking bitch. Anisotropy. This shit kicking my ass. Anisotropy. This anisotropy triggers the Weibull instability, which produces the filamentary seed magnetic fields on plasma kinetic scales. The plasma is thereby magnetized, enabling efficient stretching and folding of the fields by plasma motions and development of Larmor scale. Okay, I don't know why I did that just now. Larmor scale kinetic instabilities, such as the fire holes and mirror. Now, I'm curious. So, I don't know if you noticed or not, but we've been having the mirror effect for a really fucking long time. And I remember growing up, what I mean by the mirror effect is seeing the sun and the moon at the same time of day. That used to not be a frequent occurrence. But now, it seems like for years now, the moon has been up the same time as the sun. I'm talking about for years now. So what the fuck are they doing with the sun? Or what the fuck happened to the sun that they're hiding? The scattering of particles off the associated microscale magnetic fluctuations provides an effective viscosity, regulating the field morphology and turbulence. Let me run that back again. So the scattering of particles off the associated microscale magnetic fluctuations provides an effective viscosity. Interesting. So it provides a fucking viscosity? As pertaining to liquid? Regulating the field morphology and turbulence. During this process, the seed field is further amplified by the fluctuation of dynamo until energy equipartition with the turbulent flow is reached. By demonstrating that equipartition, magnetic fields can be generated from initially unmagnetized plasma through large-scale turbulent flows. This work has important implications for the origin and amplification of magnetic fields in intracluster and intergalactic mediums. Let's see, Princeton had a part of this. Flaherty had a part of this. MIT had a part of this. And the University of Colorado had a part of this shit. So hot take. What if the climate control agenda has something to do with this fucking research? So they're going to push out all these things, or at least they intended to push out all these things in the name of saving our planet from excessive radiation, possibly? That's just crazy. And then there were 77. What the fuck? No, bro. I'm curious. What's up on YouTube? Look at this shit.
Chinese fusion reactor ignited artificial sun for 17 minutes.
Oh, shit!
Reactors in China has successfully kept the plasma heated to 70 million degrees Celsius for more than 17 minutes.
And then look right here.
Chinese media
That's that fucking green.
This achievable result is considered a significant step.
That's that green dot that everybody's been seeing by the sun.
And is generating great interest in.
That's that green dot that everybody's been seeing by the sun, bro. Oh, shit. Nah, hold the fuck up. So I was right. They just moved to China. Hold on, what you talking about, Elon?
Well, how would you warm it up then?
Well, you could use like solar reflectors, or you could just create artificial suns with a series of like thermonuclear explosions.
What if that was the real reason Elon Musk was in the fucking White House and it just poofed? What if Elon was really in the fucking White House to assist along, and has been in NASA and everything to assist along with something going on with the fucking sun? I wonder, could it be the people of the sun? Let me show you this shit. Who was talking about it? It was you, And
Okay. Peace to the family. Peace to the family. Let me talk to you all. I know you was just on live with me previously, but something, I pressed the finish button by accident. And because I pressed the finish button by accident, you know how the rest of the story goes. It was an accident though. So, we're back on now. We live, baby, we live. And I was talking to you about the metaphysics of the sun, the metaphysics of the beach, and how we can use it for empowerment, how we can use it for success. But in order for us to get there, we have to take things to the next level in our knowledge. Sometimes we think the only way that we could come up is if we just have the money. But there's not enough money in the world to bring about true success and accomplishment. You gotta have the ability to visualize seeing yourself where others don't.
they took that fucking video down I'm looking for.
Is not material first. It's in a conception. So in order to conceive, that is to give birth, you have two forms of conception. You have physical conception, as in the case of a child, and then you have conception, as in the case of the birth of a thought or thoughts. So we're talking about conceiving thoughts. Solar gazing, the best time for solar gazing is for sunrise or sunset. And that's why I positioned myself in the room that I was in, or in, to make sure that I could see the sunrise from my room. In the water. You know, sunrise from my room. In the water. But I like to hear the water as well. So if I can come outside right in enough time.
I can't find that shit I'm looking for. I remember on live years ago, bro. I was a part of this, I ain't gonna say circle, but we were discussing, this before Trump was president. We were discussing how Trump was gonna be was gonna be successful in becoming president, and we were discussing how he was alleged to be one of the trumpets in prophecy. It was also stated that he'd be elected the second time, prior to him even being ran, because he would be the last president. This is years ago. It was also stated about the sun people coming back to Earth. And them forcing the Western world to give them their peoples what they're taking. And that peoples would have to return to the Most High God. Everything, literally everything has to return to the Most High God. That's why like all the rappers and all the music has all of a sudden went from drill and violence to God. Now people are getting baptisms here and people are celebrating Islam there. That's interesting. Let me get my beef stew real quick, man. That fucked me up for a second. Let me get off of the, I guess I'll say conspiracy theorist wave real quick. That shit really fucked me up though. I ain't gonna lie to you. That shit genuinely surprised me. How should I start this off? I think I'm gonna start this off with the
But instead of he on the corner running till it's karma. Cause so many Apple products, we gon' have to fill our armor truck. One tap, that's all it take, don't need the physical. I got a Bible full of SSNs, this shit get biblical. I got a Bible to run the credit score. Your method typical. What you worry about your credit for? Go on your business. Where the common names? Where the common names? Fuck it, where the uncommon names? They can't stop the wave. They say it's finna burn out, but shit not today. He had to go and donate his plasma just to cop the J's. All for them gamblers. We can't make our mind up. Raws and Havanas. Bamboo is the grabber. My little hustle cause she need a tattoo of Alaska. Fuzzy ain't you watch your beat and smack you with a tablet. Only reason they be crabby, he ain't turning in no patty. Told my ear send the Addy on my way to turning Mackies. So much purchase power, bro, might go and skirt a Chadley. Let her run off with the sauce, that's gonna be the worst finale. He ain't the geek swap from Best Buy, I'm talking perks and that. TruePeopleSearch.com, if it lurk is great. You hip? God bless the scams, that's the type of word that had your ass go to church with it. She like, you been tripping back, I deserve a Birkin day. Bitch, you better get some pay. If you got a twerk start dance, you would think they sniffing pain. You would think it's burning plastic. Really, that's just crack, plus it's pit and the German bastard. Yeah, the shepherd kind. Cream V series, but the inside burn. I put it like a shepherd's pie. Even steppers die. I don't think they spray no terps on your weed. Really, I just think that's pesticides. So all you extra high, play with us, that's genocide. Acting like they scared of free paper, this shit 10 and 5. Oh, they ain't got a debit card, just make a curve. We just push through for the touchdown. We Jalen Hurts. You would clip the card quick, fucked around and made a purge. If you ain't never went and took a risk that make you lame concerned, boy, your ass a major throne. Your new name, Commander Cord. Ring my baby scanner. What the fuck you think I'm scamming for? Shitty boys, dodge demolition. Long list scan, rip crazy, Tito and jail shit. You hip skip, you know the script. Wipe your ass, boys. Clear that tab line.
Fire, 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 fire. Hey, bro, you still here? I just want to know so I don't end the stream on you, bro. After you came back for a nigga. I'm gonna end it so I don't get copyrighted. Cause I need to clip my stream. I gotta clip it. I gotta clip this stream, bro. And I gotta release this shit in segments. Alright, bro. If you're not here, it's all good. But if you are, I appreciate you. Thank you. You'll catch me in a little bit. I'm going to clip this stream, and then I'll jump back on in a little bit, Brody. I appreciate you, gang.